Good afternoon. I'll call Eddie up in just a moment. Do want to take a moment. I'm sure everybody can see it by now and heard. We did lose a dear friend, Payton Williams McCoy. If you ever had the chance to speak with him or spend any kind of time with him, they had never met a stranger. He was just Rotarian through and through, kind heart. So if you will, I'd like to spend just a moment of silence and reflect on his contributions to Rotary, the foundation, and all the clubs in general. Eddie, will you lead us in prayer?
Let us pray. Most kind of gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this grand opportunity to be able to assemble in your presence. We're thankful for the opportunity to be in fellowship with believers. I pray that as we go in our days ahead, that you'll remember the David McCoy family, remember Linda. We lift them up to you, dear Lord, in the challenging times they may face in the days ahead. I pray that thankful for this opportunity to be able to spend time with fellowship with others. We pray that you bless them also this nourishment for our bodies and our bodies for your service. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen.
So join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Here we go.
If we find help, let's sing God Bless America.
Visitors with Rotarians?
So I have 3 guests today. I'll start here. We have 2 interns for Revealing in the Women's Club. We have Charlotte. She helped us design this space last year, and now she's looking for employment. It's in architecture and design. She's amazing, so keep her in mind. And then we have Cindy, who's my intern right now. So she's been doing a lot of amazing things with Revealing. And then we have Ashley from the Hospice of Davidson County. This is her 2nd visit, and so she's going to look to join us.
Welcome, man.
Sally Rudolph, she's visiting with us today. She just went to visit the chamber last week and just wanted to see what we were all about. Welcome.
A few announcements. I think it came out, I don't know if it was in here. Yeah. Service for David will be at Weston Memorial in High Point at 3 on Saturday. Due to that coming up. Other announcements, Kim also has a card if you went to the food line, or if you didn't, there's a card back there as well. Other announcements.
Blood drive June 20th, and we have a lot of vacancies. There's a really shortage across the entire U.S. Blood. So
and donate. Thanks, Larry. I'll call your attention to the bulletin if you'll take a look at that. You got, obviously got the electronic copy of it, and you saw us scrolling through here. We did, we said we would do this, Tim did a great job of putting it all together. Of the May board meeting, it was just kind of the things where funding is taking place. And I want to call your attention to one of those out there. So first of all, thanks to Christian and Mary Jane and Corey for all the work on the grants. Those have been approved and ready to roll. So it's going to be a lot of fun coming up. But the second item on there, $100 to sponsor a team for Trivia Night for United Way. That is coming up on June 20th. So we need four people, Christy, to volunteer. You don't have to pass an IQ test, but we do want you to win. So if you're going, we expect a win. If you don't win, it's okay, your dues will go up. But if you're able to do that and you're not on a team, Rotary is sponsoring your team. Or if you have people that want to do it and cannot afford the entry fee, let a Rotarian know. But Rotary has agreed to sponsor a team. I think Christy was sending that to host for the forum. So let myself know, and we will make sure that Christy's aware that you're coming to. But we need a team of 4.
And there's no public shaming, so if your team is at the bottom, no one will know except for your team. So it's a lot of fun. We have a new MC this year, DJ Shane's all, and he does a lot of local trivia nights. And it's just a lot of fun. Food trucks on site for purchases. That's in Bull City. Fireworks, June 20th, 6 p.m. So, and we'd love to see more than just one thing. $25 per person. That includes one free drink. Whatever you want that to be. It can be alcohol or it can be a non-alcoholic beverage. So it's really fun event.
Thanks, Christy. And we do probably need at least one Carolina grad on there to be able to talk sense to the other 3. District officer installation banquet, if you can make it to that, please let Kim know. We need to get some folks out of that. But that is also Thursday, June 20th. So if you're not at United Way, the banquet would be a great thing as well.
Whoa! Alright.
Sounds like just a run from the throat that can't make a intelligible sound.
Here.
Other than that,
Next Tuesday night at the city's historic bench field, the High Tops will be playing, and we'll be recognizing 9 unsung heroes in the Thomasville community. They have been carefully selected by some of you in this room, but various sectors, the nonprofit sector, the school system, the city, tourism, High Toms, Novant. So come out and support your community and see these wonderful people get some recognition. You're probably guaranteed to know somebody. So that's next Tuesday night at Benchfield, right before the High Toms game for the Thomasville Stars night.
anybody else? All right.
David, I will add, the last Wednesday of the month when we do installation of officers, we will bring our Rotary swag, so the t-shirts that have been ordered for Rotary volunteers. So just keep in mind, if you have volunteered for an event or a project this year with Rotary, or if you volunteer each week at meetings, whatever you do, if you're a volunteer, please make sure you're here that day to pick up your Rotary t-shirt.
Thanks, Gary.
Split pot, today's total on the pot is $267. Available split is $133.50, and we have 50 cards available. Just like $041.
Anyone? 041. 041. This is split the pot. where you got the ticket and you get your. So whoever bought a ticket ate and left, so you need to check the roster. Going once, anybody with a 041, a 047?
I have a turn, do I have to have a ticket?
Yes.
You guys have to take it. It's an NCC question.
You got it, it's too short for it. What's wrong with it?
It has happened.
011.
Are these from?
Gary, you could not have messed this up this time.
We are wondering if the tickets from last week, the stuff were not dumped out, so it could be that we go through this a couple of times.
All right. Third time's the charm. 0. Everybody was just waiting on Don to get pulled. What was happening there? Oh, teasers. Okay. Join. Gary, you may have just gotten yourself off ever doing slip potty. Maybe we need to start taking minutes during Rotary meetings and who does slip the pot and has to draw 3 times. 3 times the charm. That's it. All right, Jason, I'll call you up. Jason's gonna present Payton Williams with CCM today.
Well, many of you know Cooperative Community Ministry and the incredible work that they're doing to serve so many folks who are in need in our community. And every once in a while, we take one of our programs here at Rotary and do sort of a mini service project. And so here at the end of this, we'll talk a little bit about ways that we, as Rotarians from Room today, can serve this great organization. Before we get there, I want to invite Payton just to come and tell us a little bit about what's going on at CCM.
Hello. My emotional support, sweet tea. I'm a little nervous, but I'm excited to be up here. My name is Payton. I'm a proud Rotarian, and I think most people in the room are probably pretty familiar with CCM, so I thought it would be kind of cool to make a couple slides about what you may not know. So let's start. Wait,
It was just like the down button.
sideways, insert. Oh, is it all? Yeah. All right. So some numbers. We keep a lot of data at CCM, which is really helpful for stuff like this and for when we apply grants. So I thought it would be cool to pull some numbers. Between 2021 and 2023, the number of clients served in our food pantry increased by 118%. So we more than doubled over those 2 years. They were kind of a banana 2 years, if everybody remembers. But we have not seen them come down, so they're actually on pace to go up another 50% from last year if we keep going the rest of the year like we have for the first half. So that's kind of our numbers. I believe last year we saw over 1,400 unique families. So that's families, if they visited once, they get counted once. If they visited every month, they get counted once. So that's that. Last year, we prevented 374 evictions and utility shutoffs. This is probably the number that I'm most proud of because each one of those numbers is a family that was able to stay in their home, keep their lights on, or keep their water on because of CCM. That program is run by Peggy Sparks. If you've ever met her, you're a lucky person. She's the best. But she handles all of that for us, and she does such a good job of working with other agencies, with people's internal support systems. She helps look at the budget, and she really helps maximize our dollars. to try to help as many people as we can. So we did 374 last year. We're aiming to do at least as many, if not a few more this year. And
No, there you go.
I need everybody remind me to press it once. Once. Okay.
It's probably that's on Google and it's trying
Yeah.
to
Rapid fire. Okay. My last number is, I thought this would be cool for Rotary because Rotary does so much with Meals of Grace. But last year, volunteers distributed 7,800 plates at Meals of Grace. So that's a hot meal in the hands of a person who needs a hot meal. I love that program. It pretty much runs itself. People sign up, they take a key, they come, they cook, they serve, and they leave. And we have a really dedicated volunteer group that makes that happen for us. And we have 7,800 people who went to bed fed because of that. So we're really grateful. The day-to-day, I thought this might be something that not a lot of people know much about. So our staffing and overhead, we're getting into the really exciting stuff. We have one full-time executive director, that's Beth, she's a Rotarian. We have me, I'm a full-time director of development. We have our part-time office administrator, Peggy. And then we work with the urban league to employ Miss Donna, and she's our pantry coordinator. And she's part-time as well. So we have 2 full-time, 2 part-time. We're a pretty lean staff, which is good because it helps keep our overhead costs way down. We could not do that without our volunteers. If you've ever volunteered at CCM in any capacity, could you raise your hand for me? That's a lot, and there's some people who aren't raising their hands. All right. So we couldn't do it without you. Kyle's after Rotary is going to drive to one of our storage spots and pick some stuff up for us. We've got people who pick up food line for us every week, and we couldn't do it without all that volunteer help because there are just the 4 of us. So if you've ever participated in any way, thank you so much because you make it happen. Press it once. Does anybody have a joke? What do you call a bear with no teeth? A gummy bear. So our food in and our food out. David just got it. It's okay, I'm going to get most of our food comes from the Emergency Food Assistance Program, called TFAP. We get between 5,000 and 13,000 pounds every month. The fun thing about TFAP is you don't know if it's going to be a 5,000 month or a 13,000 month until about 2 weeks before. So we really benefit from local drives because when we get those low months, food from local drives helps supplement what we're able to give people. And then even if we get 13,000 pounds, there's no guarantee that 10,000 pounds of it isn't like hazelnuts or something. So if that happens, then we also like to have food on hand to be able to supplement that as well. We also, I love to tell people this because to me it matters where we shop and where we spend our dollars. We have 3 different food lines in Thomasville that cull all of their shelves daily. Meat, produce, deli, stuff like that. And they give us what they take off. So maybe they were running out of space and everything is still way in date, or maybe that just needs to go out the door that day. But we get it and we have volunteers who go pick it up for us and we're able to give that out to folks. I believe yesterday from one food line, we got like 750 pounds of food, which is huge. And it makes a big difference. So that's where a lot of our food comes from. We also get food from Pizza Hut and Sheets, which is always kind of funny, but we get like the little Sheets, pre-made stuff that doesn't sell, and then any pizzas that people order and don't pick up, or if they're training, which I didn't realize was a thing, but they'll make like 50 pizzas and they give them all to us, which is really cool. So in 2023, we got, see, I pressed it ahead, thinking I was being smart. I'm gonna get it right. Okay, in 2023, we got 232,056 pounds of food in the door. And that is equivalent to about $403,778. That's a lot of food. And every single pound of that food came in a single wide door on a hand truck. So it's a lot of work. And again, that's where we really rely on our volunteers. And that's where I'm really excited to talk about our renovation, because that will be different. Food out in 2023 was 231,025 pounds, almost the same. So we really don't keep much inventory on hand. We try to get it in and get it out, because that's why people give it to us. So we're not hoarding it or anything like that. We're really trying to make sure it gets into
What do you call a cow with no legs?
What?
Ground beef.
That was good. That's the joke to be, no, okay. So our funding, we are primarily funded by individual donations, whether that comes in the form of food or dollars. This is kind of what we budgeted for 2024, separate from our big renovation project. So we do write several grants. Most of them are not government grants, which we're very grateful for because it gives us a lot of flexibility with how we use those dollars. And we're also able to be a little bit choosy with the grants we apply for. A lot of times grantors will want you to start a new program or add to an existing program. And we've had a lot of conversation with our board and with our executive team, and we don't want to do that. We want to do what we do as well as we can. And so we have to be a little bit picky about grants. We're not trying to start a budgeting education class because there are already organizations in town that do that. And we're not trying to do, an education for kids program because there are already organizations that do that and do that very well. So we really try to maximize our dollars and be really good stewards by keeping to what we know we can handle. So this is kind of where our money comes from. I think it's really interesting. Our biggest line item is food that comes in the door. And that's something that's a little bit scary because we really don't have a lot of control over it. I mean, the government is going to give us what they give us, and with food prices as high as they have been, we really haven't gotten many individual donations from churches or small groups. Church culture has changed, so that's been different. It makes what Jason's going to talk about a little bit later a much bigger deal than maybe it ever used to be because we really rely on that kind of support. What do you call a cow with 2 legs? Lean beef. Thank you for that. Dana was my inspiration. So we, like I said, we like to have data, we like to keep records. We're a Second Harvest Food Bank partner, which means we're required to keep a lot of records. We have a database called Link to Feed. And every organization that partners with Second Harvest is required to use this database. It lets us see when is the last time someone came to our facility, when's the last time they went to a different facility, where are they living, who's in their house, who are they connected to socially, grandparents, siblings in the area, stuff like that. It's really cool. And it helps with a couple things. We get to measure impact very clearly, and then we also get to prevent duplication of services. I know this is something that people ask about a lot because we want to make sure that we are not quote-unquote enabling. I'll tell you anecdotally, I don't really have a way to measure who's abusing the system, but anecdotally, 99% of the people who come to CCM don't want to be at CCM. They don't want to be asking for help. They don't want to have to admit to themselves that they can't feed themselves or their children, that they can't pay their bills. People generally don't want to do that. Sometimes you have to. So I try to tell people not to worry about that too much. I mean, if someone comes to us on a really good day, they're getting enough food to feed their family for a week. And so it's not like, and they can only come once a month. So it's not like they're using us as a grocery store. We really are a gap program of a crisis ministry. We'll keep it that way. So yeah, once a month for food and then once a year for financial assistance. And that program pretty much regulates itself as well because of the work Peggy does. She has connections with Salvation Army and with other ministries that provide funding to make sure this person isn't getting funding from other places that she doesn't know about. She tries to kind of put the funding together, which is really cool that she's able to do that. She's been there for over 15 years, so she's built a lot of relationships that have served her very well. So I thought I'd talk for a minute about the future. If you've driven by CCM, you know that we're not there right now because we are undergoing kind of a massive renovation project. Our facility was fantastic. We rented it from the county for $1 a month for 24 years. CCM and I are both going to have our 30th birthday in November, so we might go like a joint party. But we've been there for 24 years, and it's been great financially because it's $1 a year, and you can't beat that. But we did have some limitations. We were at our electrical limit. Tony has helped us kind of figure out some workarounds. But if you plug in the toaster and the microwave at the same time, you blow the whole circuit, it's the whole thing. So we really were having some issues, and it limited the amount of cold storage we could add. So maybe we could get more food from Second Harvest or from Food Line, beforehand, but we don't have anywhere to put it because we don't have enough cold storage. So that was a big limitation. The loading area, having to bring everything into a single wide door on a hand truck was very difficult. We have single wide doors that are too narrow for pallets. If you've been in the dining area, you know it's more like exam room style, so it's a little bit awkward. You can't fit a ton of people in there. The kitchen was a little tragic. You can tell when I was like really trying to get these done. But it was. I mean, you really can't cook for a big group in there. It didn't have a lot of the equipment that I needed. It was very segmented layout because it did used to be a health department. So it was just exam rooms all the way. We had used pretty much every little corner of storage space we could find. We had stuff in our furnace room. We had stuff in my office and Beth's office. We had stuff everywhere. And we were pretty much out. Really old windows, made climate control a challenge, which is tough when you're storing food. And then we didn't have space for meetings or classes or to kind of foster the partnerships with the other ministries that I mentioned. So we had a lot of limits. I'm going to drink some of my emotional sport tea. I'm scared. Stop. All right, so I made this little timeline. I got to CCM in February of 22, and we talked a lot about how nice it would be to have a different space. We didn't know if that meant buying a new place, buying a landed building, renovating what we had. We were just kind of sending out all these feelers. And in November of the same year, the Golden Leaf Foundation announced a grant for capacity expansion. And we were like, this is kind of perfect. But there's no way, like we're not gonna get it. It's very competitive. It's the first time they've done something like this. We'll just see what happens. We're gonna apply. And it was almost a year-long process. It was very involved. Lots of visits, lots of, can we please have this money kind of deal? And you know, they need to be good stewards of their funding as well. So they had a lot of very reasonable questions for us. But in August of 23, we found out that we were chosen to receive the maximum amount of $250,000, which was super exciting. We were the only Davidson County ministry chosen, and we were one of 2 in the state to get the full amount. So we were very humbled by that, and we kind of took it as a sign that we should roll along with this renovation. And it was for renovation. You couldn't buy new, you couldn't buy additional, you had to stay where you were. So in that kind of 3-month span between August and November, we reached out to the county, and we were like, you know, Golden Leaf, before they give us this, they really want to know that we're going to get to stay here. And after a lot of conversation, they were like, we're just going to give you the building. So they gave us our building. This would not be possible again without that generosity and kindness, and we were thrilled. So things were lining up. In November of 23, we found a match in the T. Austin Bench Foundation for $250,000. So we had $500,000 total put together, and we felt like we could go ahead and start procurement. So we broke ground in April of 24, and now we just have to pay for the rest. So that's kind of where we are with it. I've got some pictures in here, I think, to kind of show where things are. But one of the exciting challenges we face is having to move out of CCM. Originally, because we're so cute, we were like, we're just going to stay here. And we'll like work out half, and they can do half, and we'll be fine. And we quickly realized that was just never going to work. And we could save kind of a substantial amount of money if we just got out of the way. So we started begging local churches and other people to host us for a little while, and Grace Lutheran answered the call just above and beyond what we ever could have hoped for. They cleared out the fellowship hall. They made an office space for us. They put a ramp in, so we could get stuff in the building. I mean, it was amazing. And they're really working with us to make it an affordable option. They put in additional electrical. So if you ever see anybody at Grace Lutheran, hug them from me, because they're amazing. And in that, we haven't stopped. We haven't stopped serving our clients. We're seeing just as many people right now as we were last year at this time. So people are finding us. And that was really important to us through this whole process. We were like, we got to be able to stay open. We got to be there for people who need us. So I threw that in about Grace Lutheran. We love them. They're really wonderful. And I could say that about so many people, right? Like, we have all kinds of support in the community. I feel like I could take a string and tie it around everybody here in some way for things that you've done to support CCM. So thank you all so much for being one of those. Our new space we're really excited about. We're going to have a garage door for unloading pallets, so we can just get a pallet off the truck and take the whole thing inside. It's going to be amazing. We're getting new windows, new electrical, no asbestos, that's big, they're taking all that out. Our kitchen will be bigger, our serving area will be bigger. We'll have an actual dining room with like a multi-purpose space so we can have cooking classes and budget classes with home solutions and these things that other people are doing really well that we already have the target audience for in our building can come. So we're really, really excited about that. And then a lot more storage space. So we're going to grow the area that we have to keep food, which means we can bring more in and send more out, which is kind of our whole deal. It's going to be great. I think our contractors are weirded out because people aren't normally this excited about garage doors. But every time I go over there, I'm like, is it in yet? Do we have it yet? Can I see it? So I wanted to include some pictures. This is our pantry. So if you've been in CCM before, it looks very different. Remains back there shaking his head. It's totally different. Kind of where that cutout piece of OSB is where the garage door is going to go. So we'll be able to just bring stuff straight inside. Garage door, guys. It's going to be awesome. We're reclaiming a couple bathrooms, a couple little rooms that were too small to actually get stuff in for storage. So we'll have more space there. We're taking back an office for storage space, so it's going to be really good. This is kind of a front-on view of the pantry on the left, and then on the right is our dining room. So all those walls that separated it, it's now just one big hall. So we'll have tons of space for people. Something that folks have really missed is that community aspect of getting to come and share a meal together. And so we'll be able to do that again, which is going to be really neat. And then this is our kitchen. I promise it doesn't look like a kitchen right now, but it will be. It'll be about 10 feet wider. We'll have a true pantry, and then we'll have more cold storage in the kitchen. So it's going to be really good. I have a little call to action. We're running our capital campaign right now. A couple things. We didn't want to take on any debt. We didn't want to stop our programming or take money from our programming for the renovation. And we didn't want to extend it over multiple years. And that's kind of a tough ask because the full cost of the project is around $850,000. We have 515. So I've got a couple other grants in the pipeline. The more funding we have on hand, the more likely we are to get other grants because they feel good that the project is going to actually be completed. So we set a goal for $50,000 from the community. We've raised 15. I would love for anybody and everybody to be a part in any capacity. It's going to be a really cool building that I hope everybody in here can look at and be very proud of because it's a 30-year ministry that is, in my mind, making a decision to show everyone that we're going to be here for 30 more years and we're going to continue to grow and meet the needs as they change. So that's kind of all I have. Jason and his crew at Mount Zion have been phenomenal partners, and so he had a really cool idea that I'll let him share about.
Well, we should say too, does anybody have any questions for Payton about what's been going on? Not here.
Yes, sir. The people that come in, what's the biggest issue that they seem to have?
That's a really good question. Our biggest population is seniors who are on some sort of social security pension, especially now as the cost of living has gone up and their monthly support has not. Seniors are running into issues where they can't afford their food anymore. And then there are also a lot of seniors in the community who are caring for children. So that's our biggest population. I think about 33% of our clients are seniors over 65.
Is the roof good?
The roof is good. Another sign from God that this was supposed to happen. We were anticipating all kinds of problems.
He's close to that.
He is. It's his birthday.
The roof is less than 2 years old. That was replaced, I think,
My former director left, said that the roof was replaced in 15, so it's new.
And I think that's a great thing too. So many of us, it's really easy to think that an organization like CCM maybe is mostly geared to homeless, serving homeless folks, or folks in that kind of need. But they really are doing a tangible work for multiple socioeconomic status and folks in there. And it's not just about getting food out. There's a lot of resourcing and training that goes into that. So I like to think a lot of times, we think about Rotary this way. If you were to take an organization out of the community, this is how we judge its impact. And thinking about CCM being no longer in Thomasville is very heartbreaking because of the ways that it's served. So one of the things, well, two things. One, she mentioned one of the ways that we can serve is to show up and help load food, give financially, which she had some links with that earlier. He didn't get those talked to her. But if you've never shown up to help load food, that's a pretty fun thing to do. You get your exercise in for the day. Garage doors are going to be wonderful because the previous way is hand truck by hand truck in. So I celebrate really on those garage doors. But one of the things that we want to do, and I've got some of these we're going to hand out. Actually, Payton, if you don't mind, would you help me hand these out? Sorry, I get you up and down. This is something that I found that she said Mount Zion, our church, that we've done to partner with CCM, is these little food drives. And what we do is we ask them, hey, what kind of food are you in need for right now? And it is surprising how fast food flies off the shelves there. It's so hard for them to keep it on the shelf. And so a lot of times there's specific things they need. So I asked Payton this week, what's some things that y'all are in need for? And here they are. This is a really simple, really easy way for us to tangibly support this organization. And so here's a little testament about that too. I love doing it because at Mount Zion we do this twice a year. We do it in the spring and fall. And we always set a goal of like 2 tons of food or something like that we come up with. And so I love doing this with my family because I've got 2 little girls, and I'm constantly trying to teach them about generosity and serving other people. And so this is something I love to do with my family. I take my girls, we go to the grocery store, and of these things, they get to pick out things that they love. So if it's a box of cereal, they're going to not just pick out, Frosted Flakes or whatever. They're going to pick out the one that they love. And then we get to tell them about how that's it's not for you, it's what you love, what you would want so much, but it's actually going to go to another kid who really needs something like this. And so it's not just a way to give, but you can make this, if you've got grandchildren or children, a way to teach about generosity and caring for our neighbors and dependents. So here's what we want to do as a club. Very easy, tangible. It'll only cost you about $20. Or if you want to be ambitious, do 2 or 3 bags and between now and next Wednesday, fill a bag of these, and I've actually got some bags up here if you need one of those, you want to take some home with you. Bring that back here, and next week we'll have a table set up, we'll drop those off. And our goal is to fill that up and get them some good food in. So this is a really easy way for us to do that. So thank you all for partnering with us.
Any other questions for Payton or Jason? It's gonna be a lot of fun to have that renovated. We've gone and taken food out to the vehicles and things before, and it's right. You load up the cart and push it out there and unload it and everything. I'm gonna tell you what, it's so fun when food comes in and getting to talk to people and just. You recognize your blessings because you have number 1, obviously, but number 2, it's really cool to see the impact that a part of food that so many of us just take for granted does for a family, or for taking it and there's multiple kids with a mom and grandma. It truly is actually a lot of fun to sort food and move around. So if you haven't done it, do try to find some time if you're looking for something fun to do. Volunteer.
I'm going to make making this announcement for Payton. If you forget your groceries next week, or you don't have time for whatever reason, you can always give the $20 that it takes to fill it up.
That's a great
You
point.
can go buy food, and you can always buy cheap on the weekend.
That's a good point. We spent about $5,000 on food last year, so that was awesome.
Can we,
I have a question. Are the one bags, is that basically what would feed a family? Is that what the?
That's a really good question. So we asked if one bag would feed a family. The list that y'all have is pretty typical of the amount of non-perishable food folks get when they come to CCM, whether it comes from the government or the store or donations. We supplement that with stuff from Food Lion and other places. So if it's a family of 6, they're gonna get more than a family of 1. So we try to balance the scales that way, but we typically give everybody the same amount of non-perishables.
I was just gonna ask if we, I'm not gonna be here next week, I'm out of town, but if we can't be here to do this in one way financially, should we designate that as for this in particular? Like if I do it on Venmo or something like that, or?
Yeah, if y'all shoot $20 to Venmo, I'll know it's for food, and we'll throw it in our food.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Other questions? Anything else for the good Rotary? If you'll stand, join me for the 4-way test. It's been a powerful day all around of positive news and sad news with the McCoy family and positive news of things that are happening for CCM and the impact we have. And one of the things that I know is just always impactful for me is finding something that we can take to make a difference with other people, whether it's through our job or through our family or through our church, bringing our talents that have been granted to us and using those to help other people. So along with that, let us ask ourselves when we meet those folks, first, is it the truth? Is it fair?